Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. It's great to have you here this glorious Sunday on July 22nd, 2018. Today we have a special guest, Sophia Stewart, and she is the mother of the movies that you have been enjoying, about three versions of The Matrix and about 5 versions of Terminator, the movies. Miss Stewart, Miss Sophia?
Yes. Hi. How you doing?
Hi, great. I just wanted to make sure that we had you on the line today. It is once again a pleasure, and I am thankful that you are blessing our Conscious Couch platform today. What we're going to do before we go into our interview is we're going to stop for a brief commercial break, and I'm going to give some update on some news. And when we return, we will be speaking with Ms. Stewart right after this commercial break. Hi, I'm Rahchamah. Need office space, a business phone system, or a business address for your home-based, mobile, online, expanding, or downsizing business? Go to www.businessfront.space. You can reserve fully furnished private office or meeting space by the hour, utilities and Wi-Fi included. Reserve now at www.businessfront.space. Never miss your mail with our informed delivery service. No matter where you are in the world, sign up for a physical address today at www.businessfront.space.
Setting up your trust is one of the greatest financial moves you can ever make for yourself and your family. Learn how to do that by visiting newdebtelimination.com. Our secure party and creditor package is the best, complete with everything you need to know and beyond. Don't hesitate to contact me, Rahchamah El Bay, for more information. 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's newdebtelimination.com. Now it's time to set up your trust. This is for very serious people only. If you're a serious individual, contact me, 904-303-9061, or visit newdebtelimination.com.
And now, back to the show with Rahchamah and Moorish Talk Live.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Again, our today's guest is Sophia Stewart. She is the mother of The Matrix and the Terminator, and you are listening to Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. So today in business news, we're going to take a news glance at some information about Facebook under fire again on privacy. So Facebook was back on the defense this week after reports it provided users data to at least 60 phone companies globally, including a telecom giant with an allegation that they have ties to Chinese government, said Tony Rom in the Washington Post. The data sharing agreement, which dates to 2007, were part of an effort by Facebook to attract more mobile users. The company gave global phone and gave phone manufacturers direct access to Facebook data so that devices could incorporate the like button and other popular Facebook features, and so that customers could more seamlessly perform tasks such as syncing their contacts. Some partners, the list include Apple, HTC, and Samsung, could access users' work history, relationship status, and political learnings, as well as the data of users' friends. Certainly it looks bad for Facebook to have made and kept these agreements, said Alexis Madrigal in the Atlantic.com. Although there is so far no evidence of data misuse, Hawaii has been flagged by U.S. intelligence as a national security threat, and it is troubling that Facebook did not intentionally acknowledge that Chinese firms were part of the data sharing agreements. There are ads to Sense Express, by congressional leaders and just about everyone else that maybe Facebook is not always completely forthcoming about its problems. So that is the information that we have with Facebook on Fire in News Today. And also there is this new technology called deepfakes. So the rise of deepfakes is a new technology, and it makes it alarmingly easy to make realistic videos of people saying and doing things they've never done. So what is this technology? It's a sophisticated type of software that makes it possible to superimpose one person's face onto another's body and manipulate voice recordings, create fake videos that look and sound real. Hollywood studios have long used computer-generated imaging called CGI to create fleeting appearances of dead actors, but the process used to be prohibitively expensive and laborious. Today, the technology was improved so much that high realistic visual and audio fakery can be produced by anyone with a powerful home computer. This has already resulted in a cottage industry of fake celebrity porn, but fears are growing over how else deepfake videos could be used, from smearing political or politicians in elections to inciting major international conflicts. Earlier this year, BuzzFeed.com created a public service announcement warning of the technology's dangers with a deepfake of former President Barack Obama, voiced by the comedian and director of Jordan Peele. And you can find more of this information on when you look up deepfake, that is DEEPFAKES, for more information. And I think it's a very interesting topic, taking in consideration Facebook has that software, facial recognition, and it puts a square around everyone and says you've been tagged here and there. And so with that kind of technology that is out here today, it is a perfect subject for our today's guest platform in her revolutionized 30, 40 years above her time prophecy of what our world is going to be like as we have viewed in previous movies, The Matrix and the Terminator. Next in our today's news is travel. You will find it interesting that a giant science experiment beneath Switzerland, about 17 miles underneath the large hardened it's in Geneva. The European organizer for nuclear research, CERN, outside the Swiss city of Geneva, is arguably the world's most famous science facility. It's home to the world's largest machine, the Large Hadron Collider, a 17-mile particle accelerator that lies several hundred feet beneath the Swiss-French border. The tours of CERN have been quick to fill up since 2012, when the collider detected the Higgs boson, the long-theorized elementary particle that gives everything in the universe its mass. So as soon as the doors open for these tours, you'll be able to book flights and start brushing up on your physics. This is inside a 7-story Atlas detector, and it is a kind of electronic that was built actually in 1957, and it resembles a Rube Goldberg device bathed in the fluorescent lights of a European dance club, and it's called the Large Hadron Collider, and it's in Switzerland. And so that is today's news that is in technology and science fiction. and we will be interviewing our guests when we return.
Hi, I'm Rahchamah L. Bay. I'm not a lawyer and don't give out legal advice. But if you are looking for an opportunity to have your very own general post, your very own professional domicile, or if you need legal advice, go to www.newdataelimination.com and look up top to your right. Click on the new custom page button. It's all the way over to the right. And right below the video on that page, you'll see the links for the general post as well as the link for getting legal advice. If you have any further questions, call me to Rahchamah L. Bay, 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. That's 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everything you need is right at www.newdebtelimination.com. You're non-resident? Well, if you are, you need your own general post. www.newdataelimination.com.
Okay, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today's guest is Sophia Stewart, the mother of the Matrix and Terminator, and you are listening to Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. Miss Sophia, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, hi. I want to make a correction. I'm not a tagline. Mother of the Matrix is a tagline that identifies with the brand. I am Sophia Stewart, not Ms. That's because I was married before, so it's wrong title. I am Sophia Stewart, the owner, the creator, and writer of the Matrix and Terminator movie franchises, which consists of, like you said, 8 movies and some other licensing deals also that's included. And this is by copyrights, and also a court decision on September the 25th, 2014. So I want everybody to know that Mother of the Matrix is a tagline. It's not, I'm the owner and the creator and the writer. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for that, Sophia. So you were saying that there was a court case that occurred. I believe there were 2 court cases that was going on. You initially started out criminally in a RICO case because you wanted these people to be arrested for this federal crime against you. How did the criminal aspect of it end? Were they arrested?
What happened was in the first court case, which was filed by myself, pro se, because I'm a paralegal, I studied to be an attorney. So I studied under the Brooklyn and Manhattan attorneys. I'm from New York City. And I filed the lawsuit myself after the FBI had validated the theft. Because people don't know, but the FBI and the Department of Justice validated the theft of my copyrighted work. My copyrights are 81, 83, and 84. And when they failed to prosecute the case, they got bought out. Capone bought them out. John Gotti, Whitey Bulger, Bertie Madoff. A lot of these people have bought them out before. That's why you see some of them going to prison late, 20 or 30 years later, when they should have gone right away when they committed a crime, but they've been paying to stay out of jail, and that's what white-collar criminals do. They pay to stay out of jail. So when the FBI, after they came and validated the theft and gave me the proof of the theft, they did not prosecute these people. So I filed a RICO. RICO is a racketeering case against them to put them in jail. And they could not defend against this racketeering. They couldn't beat it, so they called me up, Warner Brothers attorney Bruce Isaac and Wyman Law Firm, Beverly Hills. He called up, he's a partner, and he called up and said that could they pay me to drop the RICO case. And I said no, I wanted them to go to jail. I wanted people to get great diversity in movies. And I wanted Hollywood to stop stealing from their own producers and writers and people in general. So they sent 4 law firms. Yeah, what about, no, you need to know. They sent,
so you were saying that
4 law firms.
Okay.
Wait a minute. They sent 4 law firms to sabotage the case, to get the case dismissed. By not entering in any evidence, the judge has no choice but to dismiss the case. So I didn't lose the case, and they didn't win the case. All they did was prevent 4 minutes of justice from being served. That was it. And yes, in 1981, 83, and 84, I copyrighted my script in my books in different parts of the book. I protected myself. I was working for a Beverly Hills law firm while I was at USC. I already had a degree in journalism, a double major in law and psychology. I was at USC graduate school. Now go ahead with the question.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. So for our listeners, Sophia wrote her book, and I believe the book at your time was called The Third Eye. Is that correct?
The Third Eye Matrix.
The Third Eye Matrix was the book that you copyrighted in 81, 83, and 84 that Hollywood got a hold of and created the movie The Matrix and The Terminator from. So that is the book that it was in question. And you were saying that in our pre-interview that it meant to be a Goliath type of story. Could you elaborate on your intentions of writing The Third Eye and how it segues into the movies that?
Well, it wasn't no intention. My work, it was first the script and then the book, because it's called source work in Hollywood. Without this script or book, you can't create any movies, period. Movies are nothing but films. Most people don't seem to understand that. They're just films. They're not writings. They're films. They're based on writings. But you have to have a script or a book, a short story, or something. You have to create characters, graphics, special effects, and that's what I did. Concepts, plots, adversarials. All of that has to be created by a writer, and I'm a master writer, something that Hollywood is liking. That's why you see all these horrible movies unless they some very seasonal, phenomenal writers. So I didn't have any intentions. My work was already done and copyrighted, and I was looking for George Lucas, the director, to direct my work. When 20th Century Fox executives sold the work and they brought in James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd to lie and put their names on my work, which Terminator became a series of 5 movies.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And The Matrix is a trilogy, meaning 3 movies. And they had Andy and Larry Wachowski to lie and put their names on my work. But when you go to the Library of Congress, there are no source work for James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd or Andy and Larry Wachowski. They don't have any copyrights. They do have assignments, what you call shell companies. A shell company is a dummy company without any assets. It's just used as a constructive trust to steal somebody else's paperwork. The script in the book is housed under the dummy company. The dummy company could be called Shelby Drive. And a group of people who are committing a crime or thieves, they will use the company to sell the property. They don't want to put it in their names because you're labeling yourself as a thief because your name is not on the copyright, so you don't own anything. You can't sell my book and script outright because anybody looking them up is going to see that I have copyrights. So if you put it under the dummy company Pacific Western Production and Hemdale Films, and if you put it under Caracol or Halcyon or C2 Pictures, that's how these white-collar criminals steal. They steal by selling the company or bankrupting the company so they can clean up the money. It's called money laundering because when you go into a bankruptcy court, that court is a court of money. And so if you want to pay up all the crooks who are aiding and abetting, then you file a bankruptcy, and then all the creditors put in for a piece of the pie, for the piece of the money. and that's how they can claim the money clean. The bankruptcy court cleans up the money. So that's why movies like The Matrix make billions of dollars. Why would you put it in a bankruptcy court? It made billions of dollars. It only cost $70 million to make, and it made billions. So the billions is profits. So bankruptcy is a court where you can't pay your bills, but they use it in reverse. The criminals, they go in there and bankrupt movies that have made billions of dollars. They're not in the red. They're in the black. They go in there and they start dividing and separating the spoils, and it's called creditors. They laundry the money, and then the creditors come in there and get their parts, and the money is cleaned up.
And that's what they did in with the
Terminator
Matrix and Terminator movies. Wow,
they did it with the Terminator.
That's crazy.
They did it with the Terminator. They did it with the Terminator. Because see, the Matrix and Terminator are one. They're not separated. They're one epic story. Terminator End Time Revelations is the prequel to the Matrix. It's past, present, and future time travel. What I wrote was the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So when the Terminators in the future, here's the oracle's prophecy that a baby is going to be born that's going to destroy them when they enslave mankind. So the naked microchip clone cyborg Terminator, naked without shame, time travels to the past to kill the mother, Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor is the mother of Neo. Neo is an anagram or a sneaky way of calling him the One. Neoone, one and the same. And Matrix, and you can Google this, everybody. Matrix is a Latin word for the woman's womb, her stargate, her portal, as to how your body gets here on Earth. It's through that woman's womb. Matrix is mentioned 5 times in the Bible, the King James's Bible. Google it. It's mentioned 3 times in Exodus and 2 times in Numbers. Exodus 34th chapter, 19th verse, God says, he who opens up the matrix or come through the woman's stargate or portal are my children, 3-dimensional children born with souls. And these children will be warned against man's children, which is the artificial intelligence, the AI, which are the test tube babies, the petri dish babies, the artificial inseminated babies, the clones, the gender benders. These are children, soulless ones, that are created by man in the laboratory. And they're born soulless, no souls.
Right.
Soul is a seed.
Now,
a soul is a seed.
Now, my question is, going back to your prophecy, you wrote this book, Past, Present, Future, about the second coming of Christ. And I saw on one of your interviews that someone was asking you, how did you come up with this information? And you were saying that you are a seer. And what you were writing was an aspect of metaphysics. Because you're a polymathematician, I believe you were saying that you're a polymathematician.
That's correct.
And this is about quantum physics. Could you expound more about metaphysics so that our audience could understand what that is?
Oh, that's easy. I'm a visionary. A polymathematician means it's just like Tesla and Leonardo da Vinci, because you create all engineers, all inventors, all scientists create with mathematics, because that's what we create with. Now, in school, you'll get whipped or get your butt beat if you don't understand your spells. That's what witches and warlocks use, anagrams and spells, and they use words to create hypnosis or create illusions. So I have a gift of seeing. So with this gift, I knew that in the future that man was going to be warring against the fake children made by man. But if you go into the Bible clearly started telling you about this. If you go in Revelations, and you have to crack the codes to understand the knowledge of God, and that's where polymath or mathematicians come in, because they can crack these codes and they can create and they can invent. That's what an engineer does when he creates a car. That's what an architect does when he creates a bridge or a house or a building or a store. You crack these codes. It's math. It's math like quantum physics. It's math like sacred ancient geometry. It's math like calculus. And what metaphysics is in the Bible, it's talking about spirituality. But in reality, man is talking about mathematics, numbers. That's why you see the numbers, binary codes going up and down. They're the logos in the matrix because, the binary codes are the computer. Yeah, but it's also what we live in, because the day we come out of our mother's womb, we are numbered. We are birthed with a birthday. We're birthed with a social security number. We're birthed with a house number or a driving license or a passport. There, look, everywhere you look, there's a number, a license plate. Everywhere we are geared in numbers. And what metaphysics means is when you take God's spirituality, spirit, which is invisible, and you put it with science, which is obvious, where you can see, that is what is called metaphysics. Because the science and the spirituality can be explained physically. Because, let's go to the story of David and Goliath, and this is a metaphysical story. David kills Goliath with a slingshot. But what is a slingshot? In mathematics, a slingshot is a gun. So David killed Goliath with a gun, and let me explain how he killed David with a gun. A slingshot is spinned around. It goes around in circles. And that is what the cylinder of a gun is, spins around in a circle. And when you snap a slingshot, when you drop the hammer on the metal, the metal propels the stone. And when you snap the slingshot, the stone is propelled, and what does it do? It goes through the Goliath's body. And what does that stone come out of the gun? It goes through your body. So the velocity, the mathematics, is what makes this possible. When you understand math and the quantum physics and calculus is calculating. Do you see what I'm talking about? Quantum physics is possible. Do you see what I'm saying? Ancient sacred geometry, it explains the whole universal knowledge of the universe. And the whole quantum physics of the universe, how it was calculated, how it's brought into manifestation, all of this is what metaphysics is talking about. It's talking about these numbers that we're birthed from birth to death. We're numbered. We're taxed. When you leave out of here, you're taxed. When you come in here, you have to pay in that hospital if you're born in one. But your birth, from the beginning of birth to death, you are entwined with numbers. So that's the math part. The spiritual part is, what are these numbers based on? And I told people the principle of money is based on the law of circulation. And Google the law of circulation, because it's real. The law of circulation is an invisible principle. So people would come to me and they would say, Sophia, they're going to change the money. What is going to happen? If there's no more money, are we going to go bankrupt, or are we going to be put in the poorhouse? I said, no, something always takes the place of something that leaves here. And it's called evolution. I told people, go back and look at evolution. Go back into the past. Before, money used to be spices. And after that, it was horses and furs. And at some point, it was gold coins or gold nuggets. And I said, who knows? Tomorrow it might be rocks. And you have to go out there and get all the rocks before they disappear. No, this is real. Or it may be
Yes, it
Bitcoins.
is.
Or it may be the digital coins. Do you see what I'm talking about? But something is going to take the place of the paper. Because money is just a paper. But it's not going away.
It is used for that bartering system.
Right, because the law of circulation never goes away. The invisible law that governs the physical aspect that you see never goes away. The physical aspects always disappear or changes or go through evolution, but the invisible law always remains in effect no matter what. And as long as you're practicing that invisible law, you're going to be wealthy. If you understand the principle behind the invisible law, read it, Google it right now, the law of circulation, just like gravity. The law of gravity is never going to disappear. Did you hear what I said? The law of gravity is never going to disappear. It's an invisible law that says gravity keeps you here on Earth, keeps you from flying. If you reverse gravity, you're going to be flying like Superman, like you saw Neo flying in the Matrix. While you see when he ascended into his light body means it defies gravity. But he's not Superman. You see what I'm talking about? He's not Superman, but he has defied gravity, and he can stick his hand into a mirror and go into other dimensions, the void. He can jump into Agent Smith's body where matter goes into antimatter because Agent Smith is against the principles of matter. You can blow him up. Once matter goes into the space of antimatter, it blows it up because there are two different energies, two different vibrations, two different laws, you see, that oppose each other. That's why the Antichrist and the protagonist in the anti is against. Anti means against. It goes against what is. So when you hear Antichrist or anti-whatever, anti-gravity, that means that it's going against the laws of gravity. That means it's in reverse of the law.
That is in reverse of the law. Now,
That's
for
right.
those viewers, I took the liberty to look up the law of circulation, as Sophia asked, and it is circulation. It states that circulation denotes that giving and receiving is involving, and that these things are provided in a circulation that that the universe are always flowing and circulating and at an ever-expanding rate, so it never expires. So you're saying you are...
I want to give an example. I don't mean to cut you off, but let me give a good example because I know what you're getting ready to anticipate and everybody else. Everybody heard what you read, and they're reading it because a lot of people are Googling out there. But let me give you a good, simple explanation so you can understand what this law of circulation is saying. The invisible law is saying that you give to yourself and you take from yourself. When you're stealing, you are taking from yourself because every time you steal something from somebody, it's being deducted from you because that's the law. And if you're giving, the more you give, the more you receive because it's like a boomerang. It goes in a circle, just like what a currency is. They call money a currency. You know why they call money a currency? Because it's flowing in a circle. And so the more you give, the more you receive because the more you give out to others, the more comes back to you because the law is just. It brings it back, miracles and blessings, and you're never without anything. So you don't have to be scared and hold your hand and hold it tight and say, I'm not giving nothing. Because when you hold your hand and hold it tight and you don't give, you're not receiving anything because you have to practice the law. Because this is why the corporations and Pepsi and Coca-Cola and all these banks and things, they give away money. They give away money because the more they give, the more they're going to receive because they're circulating like a boomerang. So, and when a company steals from people, it also eventually goes out of business. It goes out of business because it's stealing. So it's taken away from itself. Because everybody that practices the law gets wealthy if they understand the law. It's better to give than to receive, because the more you give, the more you receive. But the more you steal, the more it's taken from you. The more you steal, the more it's deducted from you. The law is just.
Wow, that's powerful.
It cannot be fooled. It cannot be altered. And it's going on 24/7. There's nothing you can do to change it. If you don't believe it, then start stealing and see what happens and see where you end up. And if you are generous, look at the people who you know that are generous, and they're always giving, and they seem like they never run out of money. How is this possible? Those people over there, they give all the time, and they always have. Why I never have? You never have because you never give. You hold on to it for a rainy day. Guess what? You hold on to it for a rainy day, and guess what? Your rainy day comes. Because you don't got no faith in God. The rainy day comes, and you pay out the little bit you've been holding on to. Because you have no faith in God. You have no faith in God. God says this law is real. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's so profound because you're dealing with time and dispensation. I know there's a scripture, too, where even the Messiah, Christ, he says to the disciples that out of all the things that they needed to know, one of the things were time and dispensation. And that reminds me of your book, of your writings, because it deals with time and dispensation. And with you being a prodigy, what time in just your writings, what mind frame were you in when these when the ideas of the third eye came to you? Like, when do you have these visions that you see? Are you asleep? Are you woke?
I don't have visions. The ideas don't come to me. Ideas are thoughts. That's why nobody can steal your thoughts, but they can steal your paperwork, which is scripts and books, your work. But these, they don't come to me. Everybody, now you may read about some writers, who knows, Stephen King and all of them, they get their sources in different ways. Well, it doesn't happen like that for me. Mine is a natural gift that comes through my DNA. When I'm speaking the Matrix and the Terminator, End Time Revelations, Matrix, the woman's womb, the third eye, the eye of God, because on earth we have two eyes. It comes out of me naturally as the water coming out of a well. It's a natural gift. This gift is inside of my DNA. So when I speak and I write, it's a knowledge, it's wisdom. And anyone can gain this. You can even pray to God and ask God to give you wisdom. Then you can pray to God to give you the gift to decipher the wisdom. Because I have a gift to write, but I have a gift also of discernment and knowledge. And I can speak it, oracle. I'm speaking it. So I'm a gifted master writer that can write not just science fiction, but I can write espionage. I can do mystery. I can do adventure. I can do comedy. I can listen to your story and write it. I can write what we're talking about right now with a photographic memory. So it's a phenomenal gift. And to beat those people in law, all I did was to beat all those law firms. I beat over 7 law firms. All I did was reverse the law on them. That's all. Reverse the law.
Could you expound on that? Because our viewers in the conscious community, they represent themselves per se, and the obstacles that come across them, where you hear that cliche. Someone who has themselves as a client has something as a fool. That cliche that I'm thinking of.
They say a person that represents themselves as a fool for a client. And that's a bunch of garbage. That's a bunch of garbage, because knowledge is knowledge. And if you have knowledge, that's what you defeat people with. It has nothing to do with being a fool. They just say that because they want people to go out and get lawyers. And a lot of them are nothing but liars. I'm not saying all of them, because there's good and bad in everything. Good judges, bad judges. Good cops, bad cops. Good people, bad people. Good and bad simply existing, co-mingling together here. That's all that's going on. You got to look for the good if you're good, And stay away from the bad unless you're bad. If you're bad, you're going to look for your own kind. But the deal is this. Anyone that has the knowledge can beat anyone here. If you know the laws of God, listen to me carefully. Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Anthony Robbins, all of these people, Vincent Peale and others, or their success books in The Secret, all is based on the Bible. And where does the Bible come from? The Bible comes from ancient Kemet all the way to the Book of the Living, the Book of the Dead. And so all of this success these people have got is based off of learning those laws and principles that I'm teaching you right here, right now, today. And if you don't believe it, pull up their books and go in there and look and read the Bible. The reason why most people don't know this is because they've never read the Bible. They've never understood the Bible and don't know that the Bible is divided into past, present, and future time travel. That's right, past, present, and future time travel. The Bible is divided up that way because when you look at the Old Testament, that's our past. When you look at the New Testament, that's our presence right here, right now. When you look at Revelations, that's the future, what one will become. That's what God has to disciple, or those who are prodigies or polymathematicians, they can break and crack those codes and extract God's knowledge. That's why someone is an oracle or a visionary or a creator, an architect or engineer. They can crack those mathematical, or scientists can crack those mathematical codes and get information that you guys, not being well-versed in math, cannot do, because the universal language is mathematics. And if everyone was to learn math, there are 3 books I tell all parents and to give for their kids. It's the mathematic books, math, the Bible, and law. They're all entwined. They're all the same. The law book, the math book, and the Bible, they're one and the same. And when you learn these 3 books, it doesn't matter if you never write in your entire life. All of that was a lie to take these people that was kidnapped around the world, not just from Africa, because Africa is a white man's name, and it doesn't exist. It's all land mass, and everybody black was all over this. They were the children of the sun. They were God's children. They were already here when the angels, a third of them, fell and was jealous of God's children and started creating their own children to go up against man's children and the laws of God. There are no races. Go back in the Bible. It was tribes.
Tribes, yes, that's true. It sure was. It was tribes.
It's just tribes. There never was. If you go to Ancestry.com right now and you put in your DNA, all Ancestry.com can
link
tell
you back
you
to tribes,
what portion of the country that your ancestors came from. That's all they can tell you. Right. Some of your ancestors, 80% came from Scotland, 2% from the Congo, 1% from
and this is
Spain.
demographics.
That's all they can tell you, different demographics. Yep. Because you've been lied to. This is the Matrix. This is the Terminator. Terminator End Time Revelations, the Matrix. You've been lied to. You're plugged in. You're not any African Americans. That doesn't exist. It was created to separate and divide you from your birthright, from being born in America, which is the greatest country of all time. Everybody in the world trying to get in it, and you're trying to get out of it. Even the Africans are trying to get in.
They trying to get in, they sure are.
I don't
by boat and however else they can get here.
They're right there at the gate right now, at the wall. I call it the gate, the wall. They're right there at the wall trying to get in, and you're calling yourselves African Americans and trying to go to where they're going to put you in a land you can't even get in because you have no birthrights to it. You can't even prove you came from there. You might be shocked to find out once your DNA test is done where your ancestors really came from. Will blow your mind. But it's the truth. They've lied to you. Go on.
Yes, they did. The three books that you mentioned, Math, Bible, and Law, that reminds me of economics, morality, and government. But the Bible is just, it's a mixture of just everything: history, government, all of those things all in one. And that is to say, with the mindset that you have when you were writing The Third Eye, and looking at the development over the period of time, because when you wrote your book from 81 to 84 during your copyrights, I believe the first Matrix movie came out in 99. That's when you saw the movie. And
that's right, March the 31st, the national release. And Terminator didn't come out October the 26th, 1984. So my copyrights come before Terminator, and my copyrights come before Matrix. So how can Matrix and Terminator be written by these people who lied to you? How can the cart comes before the horse? The horses come before the cart. Cart doesn't come before the horses. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And
I'm so
when
sick of go ahead.
Go ahead. You're so sick
of.
Go ahead. Let it out.
I was just saying I'm so sick of. I'm so sick of these lies Yes, I'm so sick of these lies that have been told to the people on earth. There's all these lies just to take your choices from you so you can make the wrong choices, because no one can steal your choice, the red or the blue pill. No one can take the red or the blue pill from you but you. You get to choose whether you see how deep the rabbit hole goes, or you get to choose the blue pill and go to sleep and let them harvest you and do whatever they want with you. You can go back to sleep and just get harvest, jump in the big hole and go away and never lived your life and never knew what this was all about.
Now,
you can believe the lies or believe the truth. Go ahead.
Now, the conditions that we deal with today that you saw, so going through your manuscript, watching all of the 8 movie episodes that came out, looking at news today and the position of just society today when it comes to, consciousness, and as, just even for the African American race of people, even within itself, how would you relate that, what you just said, taking the red pill or the blue pill and time and dispensation and being a seer, how would you relate where we are in your writings in time and dispensation today? Where would we fit in here? I know we're not in the future, but how would you relate what you wrote to our situation now?
If you were in the Bible right now and you had the Bible open right now, and it's time traveling. You're in the present right here, right now. You're living right here, right now in the present. Everything that you saw back a long time ago that happened yesterday and further back is the past. That's the Old Testament. You can't make any changes from the past. All you can do is learn from the mistakes of the past. And if you do not learn from the mistakes of the past, then you're gonna repeat it over and over. Now, the Matrix, which is the present, and then the future, you can't decipher that unless you can crack some codes and come up with some new inventions and come out with some new stuff. That's what the future is about. But why worry about the future? Because God has already given you a number of your when you come here and when you leave here, and no one can change that. So if you want to create, then you can crack those codes and start coming with things that can heal and help people. But let's go with right now. Right here, right now. I wrote The Matrix and Terminator to unplug you, to wake you up so you could go through evolution and you could excel and move on and utilize your choices. Because when man deceives you, he takes and limits your choices. He blinds you to making the wrong choices and making mistakes. The FCC came in violations many years ago, 20 years ago, when they were told not to sell the media to the studios. That's right, because he who owns the media actually owns your mind and your perception. They get to create illusions and ignorance and blindly lie to you so you make the wrong mistake. And ignorance is not a bad word. Look at the word ignorance. It's got the word ignore in it because you're ignoring facts and truth that you should already know. But man has told you so many lies because he owns the media. This is where Donald Trump was calling it the fake media because man owns the media. And so you're not getting the truth. That's why you got to dig. This is what the Matrix is telling you. Wake up. Wake up before it's too late. Wake up and dig for the truth. You have the internet. Go on the internet. That's why I said don't believe anything I'm saying. Google it. Go to the library. Go into the archives. Read the real news. That's right. The real news are in the archives. The real news is in the courts because the court is a court of truth. That's why they don't want you to enter any lies in there because that's why they would put you in jail for perjury. That's why they put you in jail when they find out you've been tampering with stuff. Even the Bible tells you this book has been added to and taken from, and what's going to happen to the persons or the people who added lies to it or taking the truth out of it. They're going to be dealt with. That's the way it is in reality. If you do something in that court, you're going to be dealt with. If you take away something, you're going to be dealt with. Because this is the law of the universe. Got nothing to do with man.
It is.
Go on.
Right. That's true. Now, I have a question. From my understanding, when you were writing your books, you were you were working, actually, for a film production company at that time. Is that correct?
That's correct. I was working for studios, not a film production company, a studio called Columbia Pictures. And I used to work for Channel 13 out of New York with an Oscar Award producer, Perry Miller Dado. And I used to work for a national magazine out of New York City whose publisher was Dick Barnett from the New York Knicks. So I already know about media. And I knew how media shapes the minds of all people, shapes their opinions, shapes what they buy, shapes what they eat, shapes what they do. And then, look, they're giving chemotherapy to people who don't have cancer. They're giving chemicals to people that's not sick. They're paying doctors millions of dollars to kill you because you won't research the drugs. When they do guinea pigs, when they pay people to come and do a research program, they might pay a person $2,000 to come and do a placebo or take the real chemical. That's how they know when they tell you on TV that it may cause vomiting, it may cause diarrhea, it may cause sickness, it may cause death, it may cause blindness. And then you say, you hear all this, why would you want to take something with all those after effects?
And they're giving and don't disregard the fact they're giving it to healthy people at that, not even to the sick people. When at your studio that you were working,
wait, I want to explain something before you cut me off about the studio. Just keep it in mind about the studio. When they are experimenting on healthy people and they're giving them these drugs, that's how they know what happens. That's how they know, because everybody that dies and everybody that gets a heart attack or can't breathe or that's why they marked it up. But this is the deal. The biopharmaceutical companies years ago, if they caused the death of somebody, they wouldn't put a medicine out if it caused any kind of death or any of these after effects, because they would go to prison. They would pay for their crimes. Now the government, all they do is make them pay billions of dollars. What good is billions of dollars going to do you if you're dead? You can file a class action lawsuit against the company. What good is that going to do you if you don't have no arms or no legs, or you're paralyzed, or you can't see? Come on, be for real. Is money that important to you that you can't see, that you can make it back the way it used to be, that these people need to be held responsible for lives and damages that they've caused people's lives, that back in the day that everything was done right and that you would get prosecuted for that? You would go to jail, you would pay. But now people just take the money.
Yes, they do. And I guess that's all part of the matrix, different aspects of the matrix that people are in. This is a very interesting interview. Again, you're listening to Rahchamah's Conscious Couch, and we have Sophia Stewart as our guest on the show today, which is the author of The Third Eye, where it all begins. And
the Matrix and Terminator. The Third Eye is the basis, but I'm the author of The Matrix and Terminator. That's what they need to know, because all they know is about the films. Know that Lord of the Rings came from the book J.R. Tolkien had. They do know that The Hobbit comes from J.R. Tolkien's book. They do know that John Grisham wrote The Firm and the Pelican Brief. So they do know before these movies, the Gravity book is by this Chinese lady, Asian woman, and the Gravity movie,
but they don't know
Potter book,
they don't know that your
Harry
script
Potter
came
movie.
from. Right.
Because a lot of people don't know that they change names on books and movies. When you look at Cloud Atlas, the Wachowskis didn't write Cloud Atlas. It's written by the author David Mitchell. Look it up, Cloud Atlas, David Mitchell. Google it right now. When you look at Speed Racer, it's a Japanese writer from the 60s. I can't remember his name, but if you pulled up Speed Racers from the 60s, Google it, you will see his name. When you look at V for Vendetta, that's the English writer Alan Moore's work. Now, it's really weird that you know these white writers and you know their books, but you don't know my book, but you know my movie, and there we go again. The cart coming before the horse. And look, the Third Eye Matrix.
We have some callers. We have some callers that are tuning in and raising their hands, and so we have some questions from our listeners that are starting to fall into the queue. So we're going to take a couple callers from a queue. You know, when right after this question, I know you were saying that your manuscript, you were looking for the director of Star Wars,
George Lucas,
because you wanted for him to write your book. But
no, I didn't want him to write my book. I wanted him to direct.
not right. You wanted for him to direct your book. I'm sorry. You wanted for him to direct your movie.
Not direct the book. Direct the movies. He doesn't direct books. He is a director.
Yes, I know. I was misstating it.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. And but my question is that when you were working for the studio, was your book completed at that time? And if it was, did you ever think about having them to help produce your film?
I have letters. It's in the Third Eye book. People out there, get the book, the Third Eye Matrix book. Everybody here in the United States can go to my website, matrixterminator.com. Matrixterminator.com is one word, www.matrixterminator.com. Get the book. And those who are in the foreign countries, go to amazon.com and put in Sophia Stewart's books. I've written several books. You know, The Matrix and Terminator comes from the Third Eye Matrix. But in that Third Eye Matrix book, you're going to see the FBI validating the theft. You're going to see the court case documents. You're going to see letters of access, registered return receipts.
Oh, yes, they are
where
there.
These people, where they signed for it. These letters where they were trying to get it, they stole it, and how they offered me $5 and $7 million for copyrights that are worth over $25 billion. You heard right. They offered me $5 to $7 million copyrights that are well over $25 billion. Validated by three CPAs. Three CPAs are certified public accountants in the courts in the second court case in Utah, September the 25th, 2014. Anybody who's interested, call me. There's my contact information. I will email and send you the documents or proof. You don't have to believe the lies on the internet, because the internet is not real media. That's why there's no lawsuit. It's not real media. Now, me speaking today, this is like a deposition. This is real. This is real media. I'm calling James Cameron, Gail Ann Hearn, Andy and Larry Wachowski liars and thieves. And I've done it in over 4,000 media interviews, newspaper, radio, magazine, BBC, London, Wall Street Journal, you name it, I've done it. Calling them liars and thieves, and there are no opposition from any of them. There's a lot of rhetoric and trolls that they use on the internet to confuse you and to lead you down the rabbit hole backwards.
And that is so true.
Okay.
I'm looking through your book right now, The Third Eye, and she is totally correct. Anyone who is interested in wanting to know information and specifics about the court cases, she has surely put them right here in the book, verbatim, within her book, The Third Eye, which you can get at thematrixterminator.com. And the other site you have is truthaboutmatrix.com. And as she also said, the Amazon. You can also get a book from Amazon. You can go and download. You have an ebook version available that you can get immediately. You don't even have to wait for it to come to you. For $29.95 is the download on at matrixterminator.com.
Yeah, I have ebooks in all of my books, in physical books and ebooks for those who got tablets. And I make it cheaper to get the book from my website, so go to my website and support the truth. Get it from there. For the people in the foreign countries, because there's a lot of people from Russia and Australia, in the UK, they can get theirs off of Amazon.com for them. But everybody else can call me, or anyone can call me and contact me. My phone number is under contact information. My email address is there. And I'm ready to answer the questions for the people in the audience, so you can bring it on.
Okay, great. So in queue, we have caller ending 8803. Caller 8803, you're on the air on Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. How are you doing? Caller 8803, you're on the air.
Am I 8803? I don't know.
You're 8803.
I am?
Yes, you are. Hold on
Miss Sophia, how are you?
Okay, I'm sorry,
I was married before. Yeah, it's Sophia Stewart. Sophia is good. Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine as well. Do you know who you're talking to?
No, but are you going to tell me? I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am, I am. This is Miss Collins down in Florida in Cape Canaveral. Remember me?
How you
all
doing?
Our long night conversations.
How you doing, Felicia?
Ma'am. I'm doing great. So much has changed since we talked last.
Yeah, well, what's the question? Because you're on air, and I'm sure
okay,
they want to know your
I'm
question.
On air. Well, first of all, I want to say that everything you say is true. I received your documents. You sent me your book. Snoops is lying. If anybody goes to Snoops about thematrix.com and all that information, Snoops is saying that it's a lie. I received your actual court documents, which you sent me, along with a lot of other things. So it really is fake news. And a lot of people can't understand what the truth is because they're putting a lot of fake news out there.
Well, they do fake news because the wrong people, the wrong corporations own the media. And once they start owning the media, the people didn't have a chance. If the people don't go out and find out the truth on their own, they're lost, totally lost by listening to the news. And they have all these rag magazines and rag TMZ and all of them all over the place to lead you somewhere, to lead you anywhere but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to dig deep. Because
yes,
I want to bring up one issue so people will know. They were talking about the guy from the Migos, Offset. That's his tagline to the Amigos, Offset. He's married to the rapper Cardi B. They just got married and had a baby. Well, they just put in the news, and this was fake news, that he got arrested with a gun, and come to find out it was the passenger in his car that had the gun, but the passenger had a license to carry the gun. So no, he didn't get arrested. He wasn't in any trouble, but the cops did profile him because any black people that are dressed wealthy and they have expensive cars and, they're targeted, especially young black males. So you need to maybe tone it down a little bit because a lot of the rappers are carrying a big money in their bags, Louis Vuitton bags or whatever kind of Gucci bags, including the, basketball players like LeBron James and all these people and Floyd Mayweather. You're carrying large sums of money, and that's what happened to the ex-rapper that just got murdered. He had $50,000 in his bag, and they captured these 4 killers that killed him. And now you're just a target with, the gold chains that's a couple of $150,000, $200,000 or more. You're just targeting yourselves for some trouble.
Yes, ma'am. But Brother L. Bay, he's on my Facebook page, and I didn't even know you had a show today until I seen it, and I was like, what? I used to talk to her a lot, and you remember those days. But everybody talks about the third eye. The third eye is the origin of what's really going on with the Matrix 4. And I told you this in the past. Morpheus' dream, it's so detailed to what I seen in my vision. I actually seen that vision last night. I seen in the south a sun. It was just unbelievable.
Well,
and what you have prophesied and what you told and tried to tell people about, because, I've researched you, I really didn't understand, what was really going on. And then I met the NASA astronaut, and I post a lot of stuff on my Facebook page, and I really need to share that with you because it's very important. And he sees it, but he never comments. But what you're saying is true. And the vision, it has only been given to a certain amount of people. And you have that vision. You've had that vision. You wrote your work solely because they don't have any ideas. And like I told you, that pastor that wrote that book called God Consciousness, he stole my work verbatim. And the movie Lucy, when I first contacted you, I told you that was my movie. They stole my work. And that's how we became friends. Well, we was talking a lot. And, you sent me things, I sent you things, and I know you remember these things because I remember it like it was yesterday. But the main thing is what you're saying is true. And we can't wake a lot of people up because a lot of people are under a spell. The magicians are working to keep a whole lot of people asleep. They don't want people to know that a black woman wrote the Matrix and the Terminator, and every time there's a post, and he can even say, if he actually go on my timeline, I always post stuff about you. Always. I'm like, yo, please wake up. The Matrix, third eye. Please look at this. I always post this stuff, and they are under a spell, and that spell is hard to be broke because we have been put in a system into a side of to where we believe things that's true, that's not true, that's actually false. And when the truth comes out, we're all crazy.
No, listen, I know, but we're going to try to move on to the next question. But thank you, and I'll get in contact with you, I promise. But
you have to, because I got a lot to share with you, Miss Sophia.
All right, that sounds great, and I promise I'll call you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you, caller, for that information. It's great to hear that there are other people out there that are writing great work and that are contributing to just the movement of consciousness in itself. Sophia, another question that I had for you in the direction of the show was do you think that what you wrote about the Matrix in today, that our criminal justice system that we have, that we're experiencing now, is an aspect or a reflection of the Matrix that you wrote about in your book? Because I can see it in different aspects.
Of course, it is what's going on. Like I told people, nothing goes away. Evolution occurs, and something that's old, something new takes its place. Like right now, you look at these white cops that are killing these young black males and shooting them in the back and choking them. Well, it's the same thing that happened during the period of 1865 and on with the Ku Klux Klansmen. They were hanging the black males and killing them, but now they're wearing blue uniforms and they have a license to kill. They have a license to kill because how can you kill somebody and get a paid administration? That's nothing but a vacation, a paid vacation. You're on a paid administrative leave. You're on paid vacation. You're not getting punished. And while they're doing the investigations, or you look at all these black and Hispanic and other people of color, they're in the prison system and they're being harvested because that's the new plantation, free labor, because they don't care if you're innocent or guilty. They're going to get paid if you fill those slots up. They're going to get paid, and they want to get paid. And who owns these plantations, these prisons? They're lawyers and doctors and judges and senators, and you'd be shocked who all own these free labor plantations. Yeah, it's the Matrix.
When you start digging, it's the Matrix.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that happened back in 1865. Go ahead. I wrote a book.
You wrote a new book called Matrix 4, Cracking the Genetic Code.
Installment. That is the fourth installment. Yeah, it's the fourth installment of the Matrix. If you want more Matrix, get Matrix 4, because 2 and 3 is a dream. Neo and Trinity never died. They never died. Who kills out Neo and Trinity? Surely, like with the lady who stole the baby with King Solomon, and King Solomon says that they were both saying they were the mother of the baby, and King Solomon says, well, I'm going to cut the baby in half. And the real mother says, no, don't kill the baby. Just give it to her. And the other one says, no, kill the baby. Cut it in half. And King Solomon told the soldiers, she's not the mother. Take her out and hang her. Take her out and hang her. So the real creator and the writer will not kill out their work. I continued my work, and I made 2 and 3 a dream, so Neo and Trinity never died. That's very important for all the Matrix lovers and Terminator lovers out there. Now they're trying to come out with a grumpy old Terminator, and Schwarzenegger with almost 80, and Linda Hamilton, 60-some years old, going on 70. They're supposed to come back and fight each other, but it's not the Terminator because they can't use the real Terminator, so they're going to give y'all some kind of Terminator, but it is not going to be the real Terminator. And I told them it's called consumer fraud, but that I would have to file a RICO to put them in jail because they're going to cheat you guys out of your money by giving you a generic Terminator. Not the real Terminator. They can't use the real Terminator.
So Sophia, so you're telling me that after all of this that you went through with Hollywood has went through with you into the court system. I'm sure that they know that you came out with another book, with another version. No one has gotten with you and say, let's do it right this time. Let's pay you for your work.
I came out with another version. I came up with the original work. That's the original work. The movie is the original work and a continuation of the original work. They're trying to come out with another version. They're trying to give you a generic. Version. That's what they're trying to do, and I can't do anything unless they release it. The FBI told me you can't do anything unless they release it for money. Then you can come in with the RICO and get them put in jail. Then you can come out, because they'll come in. Then you can come out with not only a RICO, but an injunction to stop the whole movie and let the public know that they're being defrauded out of their money because you're going to get garbage like Terminator 4 and Genesis. They gave people garbage. But see, I was in the court case battling when y'all got the garbage on Terminator 4 and the garbage on Genesis. They couldn't call Genesis 5 because I had already written Terminator 5, The Rebirth of the Machines, which is an original, the continuation of the real Terminator. See, there's such a thing called generic. Let me tell you what a generic is. Generic is the word cola. Generic is the word matrix. Now, I own the Matrix. The Matrix Reloaded, the Matrix Revolution, the Matrix Evolution. Now, Coca-Cola owns Coke, Coca-Cola. Pepsi owns Pepsi-Cola. RC Cola, Shasta Cola. But the word cola is a generic. So nobody can own the generic, so you can come up with a Billy Cola. But and they can fool you and make you think Billy Cola is going to be Coca-Cola or Pepsi. But when you taste it and you get it, it's inferior. And you say, wait a minute, I paid the same price that I paid for Pepsi, and I thought I was getting a Pepsi. I thought I was getting a Coke. See, because it's called consumer fraud, where I make you think that you're going to get a Pepsi or you're going to get a Gucci and you're going to get a Gucci Rena. You're going to get an Apple, but you're getting an Apple Jack. You're getting Jack. You're not getting an Apple. You're paying $1,000 and you're getting an Apple Jack because you're getting Jack. It's not a real Apple.
You're getting consumer fraud. I'm just floored that after it's consumer fraud, and I'm really just floored that they did not have just the business mind sense to come to you the right way and say let's take your work and make another film together. That hasn't happened.
Well, the reason why it hasn't happened is because they committed a criminal act, and a criminal act doesn't go away. You're paying to stay out of jail. You're Al Capone. Al Capone went to prison and he died in prison. John Gotti finally went to prison. He died of cancer in prison. Al Capone died of syphilis. And look, Bertie Madoff was stealing from the rich, the very rich, for 20 to 30 years. He was stealing millions, hundreds of millions, and billions of dollars. Now, these people were going to the feds and the DOJ just like me, just like the other ones out there that's getting their copyrighted work jacked, pointing it. But the people who run the law are the thieves, a lot of them. They're getting the payoff to let the thieves continue to operate. Go and look at the old black and white untouchables. Well, what did Elliot Ness was trying his best to get these criminals, untouchables, in prison. And what was defeating him? His own organization. Al Capone was paying off the police commissioner. The police commissioner would call up Al Capone and say, you know what, Al, don't go to your bookie's place today because we got to make these people think that we are upholding the law. So we're going to bust 3 of your joints today. So make sure you're not there because then you'll be hauled in. And so that's what they do. Because Al Capone and John Gotti and Whitey Bulger had a brother who was a senator and a best friend who was an FBI director. And the good ones kept on trying to put him in jail, but his brother, the senator, and the director, the friend he grew up with, and became an FBI director, kept him out of prison. So he was still killing, still prostituting, still selling drugs, still racketeering. And then what happened, the government got smart and made his brother, the senator, step down and put the director, set him up where he killed somebody. He ended up going to prison. Then they were able to trap Whitey Bulger when he got on the run. They got him over in Santa Monica. He's in prison where he's going to die. So is Bertie Madoff.
So at least we see how that works.
Yeah, well, Bertie Madoff was 65 years old, but when he was stealing 20 to 30 years ago, he was young. But now he's got 150 years. He's going to die in prison.
Well, he's already lived his life.
It doesn't matter.
He's already made his money, lived his life. It doesn't.
Yeah, but it matters how you die. It does matter how you die.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how you live. It matters how you die and what your name is known for. Remember, that's the most important
legacy that
thing.
you're going to leave behind.
That's right. What kind of name are you going to have, and how are you going to die in there? Somebody can cut your throat. Somebody can rape you and then cut your throat, or rape you 1,000,000 times in there, and torture your life. The whatever is left of your life could be living hell, and you wish that 20 years ago you had not done a crime when you were younger. And you stole, so you had to keep stealing. You couldn't keep the money. If you were to follow these people's lives, you would see how wretched their lives were. Because they stole money doesn't mean their lives were great. That's what people assume, and that's what people tell you to get you to lie, kill, and you're going to get away with it. You're going to have a great life if you lie, kill, and steal. Yeah, you're going to have a great life if you lie, kill, and steal. Well, that's a lie.
We have another caller that has a question for you. Caller number 0085. You're on the air on Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. Are you there? Caller 0085. You're on the air.
People need to know that crime does not pay. Every criminal, every crook will tell you that so they can get you to go their way. They'll tell you that it's all easy, it's a piece of cake, just for your life to end up really bad because misery loves company. And if you don't believe it, research it. Research all the lies that was ever told that lie to.
Yeah, with the bootlegging and the counterfeiting, your biggest issue with your case with Hollywood is the fact that you did everything right. Your work was copywritten, federally protected, and it's the fact that they did not respect those laws that was put in place, and the government didn't enforce it.
No. The government didn't protect my copyrights. It wasn't about they respect. Crooks don't respect anything. It's not that they disrespect it or they respect it or disrespect. It has nothing to do with crooks. They don't deal in that. They don't deal in disrespect or respect. They don't care about that. Their only intent is to make money and to steal any kind of way. What has failed here is all the people in the foreign countries know what the deal is. The deal is that the government failed to protect my copyright. And if they fail to protect my copyright, it affects you. It affects everybody's copyrights because they're not protecting your copyrights either. And that was always the issue. They tried to make it look on the Internet like I didn't have any copyrights or I didn't have a leg to stand on. I was crazy. I'm an angry black woman. All of the rhetoric and bull crap that wasn't true to distract you from seeing the real truth that the government, us, the people, they were here to protect us. They didn't protect us. They let the criminals go out and steal our copyrighted work because I'm not the only one. Just like the lady just spoke seconds ago, minutes ago, her work was stolen and others. I mean, thousands of people, no matter what race, color, creed they were, nationality, or what we call race, color, creeds, and nationalities people, they were stolen from their own producers, their own actors, their own directors. Now, the producers, the actors, and directors wouldn't come forward just like they did with Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby and Kevin Spacey and Charlie Rose because everybody was afraid of getting blackballed. They have to make a living. They have children and wives and husbands and families. They didn't want to blow the whistle on these people, but everybody knows in Hollywood that they've been committing these crimes for a long time, and the government get their propaganda army and military movies from Hollywood. So they gave Hollywood immunity because they needed those movies to get your kids and your daughters to join the military back in the day. And so they would give Hollywood a pass because Hollywood be killing people, the music industry killing people, all of them in the entertainment business killing people, racketeering, pedophilism, and every rape and everything else despicable is going on in Hollywood. Holly is the tree the witches made their wands from, witches and warlock and wizards. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows. Oh, go ahead. You got a caller?
Let's see if this caller, yes, let's see if this caller is available on the line. Caller, you're on the air. Area code 856. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hi, you're on Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. You're speaking to Rahchamah and special guest Sophia Stewart. Do you have a question for our guest or a statement?
Hello? Do you have a statement, a question? Hello?
Get him back. I'm gonna.
Yeah, there he is. Hello? What's your question?
Can you? Does your movie have to do with fracture mechanics and noble gas?
What about noble gas? What did you say?
Fracture mechanics and noble gas. Does your movie have anything that's like it? Like, can you relate it to?
My movie deals with quantum physics, which is what your whole world is made of. Quantum physics, sacred ancient geometry, calculus, the birthing process, the matrix, what we live in, the world of oxygen, neutrons, electrons, protons, vibrations, energy. Yeah, gases, because everything changes from one state of being to another state of existence. You know, when you got the air, the water, and then gas, you know, everything changes. Fire, it's all entwined as one. Yes, it's the Matrix. And if you get the book, both of them, like she said, the Third Eye Matrix book and the Matrix 4, the fourth installment, you'll learn a lot of metaphysics. You'll learn a lot of stuff that you will be shocked. It'll wake you up.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was did you have any more questions? That was your only question?
No, he said thank you.
Great.
Yeah, let's move on to the next.
Okay, so now another issue that I had, I know we talked about the criminal case that you were pursuing with the RICO and how that ended. You also sued civilly. How did that end?
Oh, I won September the 25th, 2014. Because in the first court case that was filed April the 24th, 2003, they sent these it was 3 white law firms, and one guy was half white and half black, his law firm. And he's the one that told on them, the black guy told on the white one, that they were paid by Warner Brothers to come in and sabotage me. And this is how I found out about the saboteur, but it was already too late. That's why I went to the FBI and the DOJ. And I tried to get these people prosecuted in the second court case, and they're still left holding because there was a lot of crooked judges in my second court case. I had to get some of them recused off. One of the judges, I had to call her a cheap prostitute in the legal brief because she sold her soul, and she did a lot of despicable things to become a judge. The other one was a Ku Klux Klansman, and he was scared his background was going to come out. So both of them, scared of their past catching up with them, recused them off themselves off the case, and 2 more judges came in. The woman judge was a magistrate judge named Evelyn J. First. The other guy was named Federal Judge D. Benson, whose cousin was Mitt Romney, the one that went up against Obama for president. Anyway, the woman judge was very fair. The FBI said that she was a good judge, and you could see that. She was kind of blinded a little bit because she didn't know what was going on, but she still held true. And in the end, I received justice. I got $3.5 billion of liens on all of their properties. So I own their properties. You can go into the court, ask for the liens, and I'll send out the liens to you. and I won almost a $500,000 in attorney fees. And I entered all the copyrights in because the government gave me the copyrights to the Matrix, the Terminator, the Anti-Matrix, Enter the Matrix, all of the derivatives. I own the copyrights to them. And I put in the Third Eye copyrights to all the original films. All three of the copyrights were entered into the courts and the derivatives. So I entered in about like maybe 6 or 7 copyrights or more.
That's awesome.
So,
that is awesome to see that you were vindicated in what you set out to do. So what is there now? What is there now moving forward for Sophia Stewart?
Well, I have a GoFundMe, and I want people. Yeah, well, I want people to know about my GoFundMe. I got a law fund called GoFundMe, and lots of fans are donating to that. And that right there, that money is used to fight justice or injustice that's done all over to me or to anyone, because I represent the people. And so, like now, what's getting ready to come up, if they try to release this fake Terminator off on you guys, I'm going to have to fight it with a RICO. I'm going to have to go in with an injunction, because if you don't stop this kind of stuff in its tracks, they'll do this to you guys. They'll take your work, copy it, and then try to bring out a generic if they get away with this. And if nobody doesn't stop them and sets a precedent, then they will continue their criminal act. And when I protect our work, that's me protecting all of our work. And you got to know that when they are doing something, it goes against everybody that owns copyright, because they don't care. They got millions and billions of dollars, and the government will side with them against us. But if you go out and you download 10 copies of Deadpool, the FBI will come out and arrest you. You don't even have to sell it. Just download it. If you walk in the movie theaters with Google glasses on, they're going to knock on your door or come in that theater and arrest you. If you even film a little bit of something, if you take anything from the studios, they're going to come in and arrest you right away. Now, you think about it. Whatever is good for the goose is good for the gander. If they're protecting the studio's property like that, we pay the same $65. We got the same 75-year copyrights. They need to come out and protect our copyrights also. Not send you to court against a billion-dollar corporation, a company that already stole your money, and then turn around and use your money to fight you with. Bring in some unscrupulous lawyers to fight you over your own work, to get your case dismissed because they committed a criminal act, and they don't want anybody to find out they're thieves, because the regular people will stop supporting them and will not come in to help them at all. This is why they got on the media. So when they got this fake media, they tell people lies, so that way people won't go against them, because the people, like the late John Kennedy said, have all this power. That's why they want to deceive the people, the masses, because you got all of this power, and they're scared of you. So that's why they lie and deceive you with fake news, because when you find out the truth, you all get up and you rise up and you put them out of business. You won't support them. You won't buy from them. You're mad and upset. So remember, they're lying to you because you have the power. And their only power is to deceive you from turning that real power on against them. So this is why you see all the lies on the internet. Mm-hmm. And you ought to hear the biggest lie.
It is, and it's so hard to tell the difference.
Yeah, but listen, the biggest lie, this guy, I was eating and having lunch with him yesterday, and he said, look what you're saying, that you were some woman in the 70s unemployed. And I said, in the 70s unemployed? This didn't happen to the 80s. I was a kid in the 70s. What the heck?
and you wasn't working in a what they call it, a sweatshop.
Yeah, I mean, I was a kid. I was at home unemployed. That was a kid. And everything that happened in the 80s when I was at graduate school, already had a degree, already worked for the media, and already had a career, already in the news from 78 on, always already in the news in the 80s. And anybody can go into the archives and put in Sophia Stewart in the archives and look at pictures of me in the media in the 80s. I'm already 78, 79 in the media with a career. Already had done movies.
You have to do your homework. Yeah, you have to do your own due diligence and not take face value and have people to put you back up what they're saying, and also do your work as well to make sure that you're receiving competent sources. Your books, Matrix 4, as well as the Third Eye, did you self-publish your books or did you go through a publishing company?
I'm very knowledgeable about the publishing world, and you want to own 100% of your copyright. So I suggest that everybody Google now, because all this news is available. It's not like, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you didn't have this information at hand. You had to go to the library and to the archives and dig up stuff. But now you can just let your fingers do the walking and Google everything that I'm speaking about. If I were you, I would publish my own books and own 100% of your copyrights. And this way you can market it and sell your work online. And then you should do your own movies, too, because Amazon and Netflix is going to be the next big thing, like Apple and Microsoft are the $500 billion corporations and companies. And before that, it was IBM and Xerox. But IBM and Xerox didn't know what a mouse was, a mouse meaning internet. And look, Apple and Microsoft, and look, over there at the studios, they don't know what streaming is. Amazon and Netflix is going to be the next big bosses, because streaming is like when the satellites come into play, and I've been talking about this in my interviews for years. When the satellites come into play and you've already made your movies, you don't have to sell them to Netflix or Amazon, but if you do put them on there on that platform at the right time, you can make millions of dollars. But when the satellites come out with their platforms, you'll be able to make billions of dollars, because the satellites will be able to stream in all of the foreign countries to billions of customers. Like Amazon and Netflix streaming, they reach millions and hundreds of millions of customers. But the satellites are going to be reaching billions of customers. So the next big thing to come that evens up the gaming is streaming, where your books can be streamed around the world, iBooks, audio books. You see what I'm talking about? But ebooks, digital.
Right.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Just like the movies,
yes.
The download, streaming. You know what I'm talking about? Where you can make millions
exactly.
and billions of dollars, because you don't need the studios. There's 7 studios, Disney, Viacom, GE, Fox. You see what I'm talking about? The 7, 20th Century Fox, MGM, all of these, Sony, all of these people, they are monopoly. They call monopolizing. They're monopolies, because they're making all the money because they're distributors, but they don't want to give you nothing. And they're going out of business.
They take a big chunk.
Well, they don't want to pay you nothing. So when they take a big chunk, they're supposed to be getting 35% or 30% and giving you 70%. And it's the other way around. They're getting 70 or 75 and giving you 25, as you getting that. They're stealing. And that's all is to it, because they're stealing, because the feds won't come in, the DOJ won't come in and make them do what's right. And you guys are not whining and complaining about it. So they're getting away with it.
I think the part that bothers me is that there's so, like, some people that they do their due diligence and they put in some work, they say, I want to write a book. So I'll go online and I'll try to figure out what's the best way for me to do it. And people run all of these different lead-generating ads that, get in the way of you trying to produce your work yourself, because they make it seem so complicated, saying, you know, we'll put this together and you got to do this first, and make it seem like they're creating all of these I like to call them sub-regulators. You go through these different steps. So what would be some advice that you would have for people that want to be they're in the entertainment industry?
No, I know what you're saying. I want to say to people out there, no matter what color you are, whatever you're supposed to be, or what you're calling yourself, or label that you put on yourself, forget all these labels and stuff, and just see yourself as a living being that has a right to make money and a right to the pursuit of happiness under the Constitution. You have a right to be happy, a right to have an abundance, a right to pursue life and live accordingly, a happy life here. What you need to do is start creating your own platforms, because the Internet is just a highway of communication, and anybody can monetize the Internet and make money. Why not create your own platforms? If you like music, then create a music platform and start selling off of that. Create your own business. If you like movies, then create a movie platform and start streaming and having people to join. Because just like Facebook started out, you can start out the same way. Ain't nothing stopping you. It ain't nothing stopping you. Look, before there was a White House, there was a Black House. Before there was Wall Street, there was a Black Wall Street before the White Wall Street. Mm-hmm. There was black bread before white bread. There was brown sugar before white sugar. There was brown rice before white rice. There was a brown Jesus, Jesus, Horus, before the white Jesus that Michelangelo painted white. Just because something is white doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There was the black, even the void was black before light came on it and turned it white. Yeah, it was black. So why don't you reverse everything? Why don't you start a black Amazon, a black Netflix, a black everything? Why don't you reverse everything? That's what they did to you. That's what they did to you.
That is so
they
true.
Reversed
the smartest
everything.
thing I've ever heard.
Why not a black apple? There's a white apple. Why not make a black apple? Apple is a generic. A black apple. Come on. Can you see a black apple?
Yes, I love you. You're smart and just so educated, articulate, and have a wonderful sense of humor. It's just so awesome. Remember, again, you're listening to Rahchamah's Conscious Couch with Sophia Stewart, the author of The Third Eye and Matrix 4, The Evolution of Consciousness. And you can visit her website at matrixterminator.com to download her ebook that is available. You can receive it right now. She has it also in paper book. Her site, another one of her sites, is also truthaboutmatrix.com. And she has all of her contact information there if you would like to contact her at any time moving forward from after the show. Again, I want to thank you for being on Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will get in queue for any callers that would like to speak with Sophia Stewart. All you have to do is press or dial number 1 from your phone or for your headset, and you will be in queue, and we will return in just a few moments. Calling all singers, rappers, musicians, and entertainers. Yah Heard Radio has radio promotion for you. Yah Heard. Download our app, Yah Heard Radio. That's YAHHEARD Radio from your Google Play Store today. Yah Heard Radio provides a commercial platform for independent artists. Tune in our live stream at www.yahheardradio.com and join our international listeners for commercial-free clean music in all genres. Have your music played among the best. Build your fan base, receive licensing and royalty opportunities. For promotion or more information, go to our Contact Us page at www.yahheardradio and create your login credentials for access to log in to sign up. For more information, call 904-900-5517. Yah Heard. Welcome back to Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. Today's guest is Sophia Stewart, the author of The Matrix and Terminator. She has wonderful manuscripts, The Third Eye and Matrix 4, The Evolution of Consciousness. You can go and download the ebook at matrixterminator.com. And also she has a GoFundMe that she was speaking about a little bit earlier, where you can go and donate and support to help fight the causes that are needed for legal issues as the ones that she has endured. Sophia, I wanted for you to explain or expound a little bit more about what the name of the GoFundMe is called. I know you told us that it was a GoFundMe, but I did not catch the name of the GoFundMe that they could go to.
Yeah, it's called Sophia Stewart's Law Fund. Excuse me. Sophia Stewart's Law, L-A-W, Fund, F-U-N-D.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And what intrigued me the most, not only just with you being an author and being in journalism and just all of the entertainment background, but the fact of your law degrees that you have. I believe that you said it was a double major in law, and you studied to be a paralegal.
Yeah, I'm a paralegal. I don't have a law degree, but what I have is a major in law and a major in psychology because I studied to be a lawyer and doctor, but I have the degree in journalism, which is in writing, a master writer. But I went to graduate school for films, to create films. USC, one of the best film schools in the country. I went to school with Marcus Allen and Ronnie Lott. I went to school with Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott. Charles White was on his way out. James Sinclair, the Moore brothers, August Curley, Dennis Johnson. Those guys were my classmates, among others, at that period, because I was at USC from 1979 to 1983.
Now, what is it in your new book, Matrix 4? What is it that readers can expect in this book? What does the future foretell in this book?
Oh, I have a lot of, like in the Third Eye book, I was talking about digital downloading, barcodes, computerized warfare with drones. I was talking about body scanners, food scanners, the Illuminati, the Federal Reserve, the Trilateral Commissions. But in this Matrix 4 book, I'm talking about the virtual penal system. I'm talking about a hologram virtual card that you saw that they sold Disney in the Black Panther movies. That came right out of the Matrix 4 book. The Matrix 4 book has been out for 8 years, since 2010, selling around the world. The fans even knew, because they're big Matrix fans, so they already know and have the e-book and the physical books of Matrix 4. I'm talking about a wireless car, a wireless engine that starts up with vibrations, the musical notes that Neo and Morpheus is riding around in, a virtual hologram prison system, because the physical prisons can no longer absorb the money and the weight of the world like it is now. So they have to do away with that. I'm talking about alien technology. I'm talking about how an alien ships with hieroglyphics on the belly of it, how it's cloaked, invisible, and how it really flies with magnetic wing pulsion and the reversal of gravity. All of this stuff, new technology I'm talking about in Matrix 4. Get it and read it. Wake up. Get more Matrix. Call me. Get more Matrix. Right under my contact information is my phone number and my email address. Get the books and call me and get in the know. Wake up. See what the real Matrix is all about. Unplug. Come unplug so you can use your choices and you can make great choices, and that you can create wealth and you can create music. You don't need people to enslave you. You don't need longsharking. You don't need people to kill you and insure you with Lords of London like they did with Michael Jackson, $1.5 billion. The moment he died, his estate was worth $1.5 billion. And they sold his image. Sony got his image in perpetuity. That means they license out, do licensing agreements with his image here in Vegas and all over. making billions of dollars. He's worth more money dead than he was alive because you can't control a live image.
Crazy.
And that's what Elvis, too. He was worth more money dead than alive. So is Prince. So is Tupac. So is Biggie. So is Whitney Houston. Come on, wake up and smell the coffee.
That is amazing. I know. On this interview, we spoke a lot about the aspects of the legal aspect of your case and just the overview of what the Matrix is, and I love the aspect of even giving our audience some tips of what they can do if they wanted to pursue, just in economics period, and how to protect themselves moving forward with their works. Most definitely would like to have you back on the show again to go in more detail about that new technology that you were speaking of that is in the new book, Matrix 4.
That's right, Matrix 4 Evolution. Matrix 4 Evolution. It's the Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolution, now Matrix Evolution. Matrix have evolved. It's greater than 2 and 3. It's a dream. And 4 comes right behind 1. 7 is going to win 7 Oscars. This is the Oracle prophecy. It's going to make over $7 billion and win 7 Oscars. That's the Oracle's prophecy. You heard it today, and we'll look back at this prophecy, and you'll see that I am really a prodigy. You'll see I'm really a visionary. You'll see that I'm really a seer, gifted in mathematics.
Yes, you are. I have to say, this is brilliant work, and it's so inspiring. Just the fact of having, there are a lot of men, they're out here, they're doing so many great things, and it's so inspiring to see a woman, especially a melanated sister, that's out here doing things, and it's encouraging for other women to step up to the plate and not to suppress the intellectual side of themselves or the gifts that they have, that they, because they're different and they see things and they can do things that justifies what others know and what they're capable of. I saw a picture of you with Lauren Fishburne. What was and then that gives me this question, what was his first impression when you met him and like, oh, you're the author of these works?
Well, he wanted to meet me, but he wanted to meet me way before he and I took that picture. I got interviewed by Paul Mooney and Ellen from WBLS in 2005 because of Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne wanted my phone number and wanted to meet me. He told Paul Mooney and Ellen that I had wrote The Matrix and Terminator. And Paul Mooney, you know how he is. He's super. He said, Sophia's from New York. Come on, you New Yorkers out here. Give me Sophia's number. Call in right now. I want her number. And they called in. They gave Paul my number. And Paul and Ellen called me, and they invited me to 2 interviews. And Paul said that his sons, his twin boys, were just big Matrix fans, and they were just so happy to meet me, and they did an interview with me. And then what you saw me and Lawrence, that was my first red carpet in 2006. I did the red carpet with Lawrence Fishburne. I did it with Sylvester Stallone and the late Dennis Hopper, and it was over 100-some media people present, and this is the first time I was introduced to the media, and they took 1 million pictures of me when I was brought on the red carpet and introduced. They had heard the name Sophia Stewart, but now they got to meet the person. And it was fabulous, as you can see, and it's smiling in the picture. And people go to my site, Matrix Terminator, truthaboutmatrix.com website, look in the picture gallery and look at these pictures. He was elated, he was smiling, he was happy, and so was a lot of other celebrities. Major celebrities have gone. I've been invited to their events. They've taken pictures with me. I got a chance to meet the late Johnny Cochran, the late Julian Bunn celebrated me. They celebrated me. And, of course, Jesse Jackson, who's still alive, and a lot of other people out there that is phenomenal and known. They know who Sophia Stewart is. You guys need to wake up, because if all these people take pictures with me, go in those picture galleries, there's much more. Me and Janet Jackson, me and Lionel Richie, me and Common, David Banner, Floyd Mayweather, all of these people, they're not going to be taking pictures with somebody that did not accomplish anything like that, okay? They wanted to take pictures with me. Jesse Jackson kissing me on the cheek, going to the archives, Muhammad Ali, and the pictures with a lot of major people, Magic Johnson. All of these people know Sophia Stewart, Will Smith, Russell Simmons, Reverend Ron. Check it out. Talk to your celebrity friends out there. I know that they're actors.
I know that they're actors and they played a part in your work. What was their? What was? Could you share with us like one profound comment that was appreciative to you?
I got celebrity fans. I got celebrity fans. Jamie Foxx and all of them. Jamie Foxx met me. Yeah. They gave me kisses. They love the Matrix, and they know I wrote the Matrix.
They love the Matrix.
You can't fool these well-known celebrity people. And they're very excited to meet me. I should get this honor. I should be getting this honor even more from the common people. Yeah, from the common people. And it's, a lot of white people know I wrote it. They say, yeah, she wrote The Matrix. Look at all these people of color. They're in heroes. There's black superheroes saving the world, like the United Nations. In a white science fiction, it's a white man saving the world. That's Spider-Man, Iron Man, Superman, Batman, and Rocky. Saving the world. There are no black people, but in the Matrix, the agents, the white guys, are the bad guys. In a white science fiction, the white man is the hero saving the world. Now, the white people recognize that. I don't know why black people don't recognize this. They should have been more proud of the Matrix than the Black Panther movie. The Black Panther movie, the Africans are finally getting a superhero. Yeah, the Black Panther is for the African people. They finally got them a black superhero. Your black superheroes are in the Matrix, black folks here in America and all over. That was your first black. When you see Morpheus and the Oracle and Tank and APOC and all these other ones, Jada Pickett's role, Nona Gay, Henry Perrine, Roy Jones, and all the other ones, come on, Tyler Perry, Cornel Wilde, Cornel West. All of these people are black people playing a role in the Matrix. Science fiction. Look in the Third Eye Matrix book. Look at the Los Angeles Sentinels in 1981. I'm in the newspaper. Sophia Stewart is coming out with the first black science fiction with black superheroes so our kids can aspire to become anything they want, including President of the United States. And guess what? We got Obama because of my work, The Matrix. 2008, he was there for 8 years. Come on. 8 years.
Yes, that is true. That is true. You have been such an awesome guest. And like I said, I would like to have you back again because there were some things that on the law side that just totally intrigued me of how you handled your case, getting judges recused from cases and having for them to pay you attorney fees when you're a pro se litigant, and just so many accomplishments that is encouraging for a lot of people that are out here battling the Matrix in their everyday life, and those obstacles that for them to have to overcome with those naysayers and just how time-consuming and all of the research that they're going through, just that little push, that little encouragement just to show that, you know, in even though you were fighting a case of copyright infringement, but you did it yourself and you didn't have to have anyone with you to do it, your expertise.
I wasn't fighting copyright infringement. When you go to court, I told people I'm not fighting copyright infringement because I already own it. I don't have to fight against my own copyrights. When you file a lawsuit, it's a lawsuit is a case of money. You're filing for money. You're saying that they stole my car, they stole my house, they stole my copyrighted book and script, and they made this money, and I'm due this money. I'm due the profits behind the money. Because when somebody makes money off of your work or something, you're due the compensation. The judge wants you to put in your proof that you own it, and that's how come the judge can award the right person. But if you stole something, you're not going to even show up in court because you're going to go to jail because you know you're a thief. You better not step foot in there. The magistrate judge can put you in jail. So people need to know this. When I come back, I want you to go over the legal briefs and let me break down the law on how these people can win their cases, how they can win over any cases, and how to reverse the law. I want to let people know, too, that when I was in the 7th grade, I was writing like Venus and Serena's was playing tennis, and Tiger Woods was playing golf when he was 3 years old. That's how come I'm a master. That's how come they were masters, because you start out early. I was doing taxes when I was 11 years old, and like H&R Block, before they were even heard of. I was getting paid by adults to do their taxes. I was doing payroll, accounts receivable, accounts payable, and doing the payroll, doing grown people's checks when I was just a teenager. So I not only have a mathematical skills, but also I was doing the work. I was bringing it into reality. So know that this is no accident, no mistake. Why? What happened to me is something to alter the whole world. The Illuminatis and the Masons came to me, and the Illuminatis told me, you're going to have a second court case. And they told me this in November of 2006. They said, you're going to have a second court case, and you're going to win it, and you're going to go on to play a major role in world events. Do you know what they're telling me? To play a major role in world events is to bring forth the 4th installment of the Matrix. That is going to change everything graphically in this world. The whole world is going to change when the Matrix 4 movie come out. The consciousness of the people are going to shift. This new technology that I'm talking about in Matrix 4 is going to prepare you to adjust yourself to the new world that's coming, the new earth that's going to come, the new technology that's coming. So it's going to be very phenomenal, because it's a bidding war going on right now for the Matrix 4. I've been offered $30 million from Warner Brothers. Another offer came in after they validated that Warner Brothers offered me $30 million. They upped it $5 million. Now I could possibly get $40 to $50 million for the Matrix 4 script and points on the back end, because immediately it has 3 to 4 billion fan base around the world. So we're talking about 3 to 4 billion ticket sales. We're talking about, if it's $10 a ticket, we're talking about a lot of billions of dollars in pre-ticket sales. Around the whole world, globally, people are ready to see the 4th installment of The Matrix. It changed everything. But guess what? You're going to get unplugged now.
That is so awesome. Thank you again. You have been listening to Sophia Stewart on Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. It was a pleasure having you. We're going to be bringing you back. We have so much to talk about, so much to say. Awesome. Remember to go get this book. Download it right now. MatrixTerminator.com. You can get the ebook available for $29.95. TruthAboutMatrix.com is available there. Everybody else that's listening around the world, go to Amazon.com and get the Matrix 4, The Evolutions of Consciousness, and also check out her previous book in which Matrix and Terminator was filmed from, The Third Eye. You're listening right here on Rahchamah's Conscious Couch. Thank you for joining us today. But in the meantime, until next time, get off of my couch.